So in life, we have problems. You have good problems and you have bad problems. And the Washington Commanders currently have a running back problem. And I'm trying to figure out, is it a good problem or a bad problem? Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries?
Stop saying my name, you dick rhyme, baby. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and Shawty is the winner. You can tell that Shawty's love again now. She's confident.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders running back problem and trying to figure out, is it a good problem or is it a bad problem? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So I'm gonna need you guys' feedback down below in the comments section because I'm really trying to figure this out. So Juan, why are you saying the Washington Commanders have a running back problem? Because in fact they do, in my opinion. And the problem that they have is it could be overcapacity. Now, it could be different this year where Washington actually keeps all 4 running backs on the active roster. And with training camp being now, it's June 2nd. So with training camp being, about a month and a half away, that's a position battle that, in my opinion, we're going to have to watch out for. Because are they really interested in keeping 4 running backs on the active roster? A while ago on the Burgundy Breakdown that I do every single Wednesday live with Reedy and Z and John from Ball and Burgundy Podcast, we go live every Wednesday at about 8:45 p.m. I was telling them how I feel like they brought back Jeremy McNichols for, a safety net reason, you know what I'm saying? Or for, a guy that you can get it done if you need him to, essentially is what I'm saying. Because in my opinion, what I think the Washington Commanders want to do and probably should do is keep 3 running backs. That allows you to have access to other positions and add, fat at other positions, maybe offensive line, add extra offensive linemen, because we know in the trenches, it definitely is a little bit, dangerous. So a guy can get rolled up on, blah, 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 and your depth can start to get tapped too. Maybe you want to keep an extra tight end. Do you want to keep Kosin Yankov? Do you want to add another receiver? You want to add another DB? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the running back position is a position that this team currently has that can be expendable. Or is it, right? Do they genuinely want to keep 4 running backs because they love Jeremy McNichols? That's why they brought him back, right? They love Bill. That's why they drafted him in the 7th round and felt like, if he had played last season, he probably wouldn't have been there. And Brian Robinson, for everyone, including myself, that have kind of changed their tone on him in terms of kind of went from loving B-Rob. And not that I don't like Brian Robinson as a back. I definitely still want him here. And I think he is a serviceable running back. The only thing I've always said about Brian Robinson is that he's a guy that deserves a running mate and needs a running mate. And, Brian Robinson, for everyone that has kind of changed on him, including myself, he's running back 1. That's true. That's the case. It's not Austin Eckler. It's not Bill. For everyone that wants Bill to potentially be the running back 1 in the future, that could possibly be the case. But right now, it's Brian Robinson. And that's my thing. B-Rob, can he do it for 17 games? We know B-Rob is good for the first 6.5 weeks. It's just once he starts to get banged up and bruised, that's where he tends to fall off. So essentially what I'm saying is they have Chris Rodriguez as well. They love Chris Rodriguez, and why they tended him this offseason. But the reason why I felt like Washington was going to keep 3 backs was because I felt like they were going to cut Jeremy McNichols. Now, hear me out. I know that might sound a little crazy to you after them spending sign him to a 1-year deal. But again, you have 4 backs, and would you rather lose a guy like Jeremy McNichols, who is too valuable to be on the practice squad. So he either has to make the active roster as one of the 4 backs, or you cut him because he's not gonna go to nobody's practice squad. They're gonna pick him up as soon as he's a free agent. He's that valuable, and he had a really solid season last year. And with Chris Rodriguez, you have a higher chance of retaining him through a practice squad. You know what I'm saying? Cutting him and putting him back on a practice squad. And we know he's shown time and time again, when he gets his opportunities, he's damn good. Look at that game a couple of seasons ago. I want to say it was versus Tennessee. Last season, I know it was versus Tennessee when we were all black. It was cold as hell at that game. I was there. He was cooking that game. But every time he got his opportunity throughout the years, even going back to the last regime, he's always showed up. So it ain't like he can't play. But me personally, I just never been a huge fan of keeping 4 backs. I never thought, what was the purpose? I always looked at it as you got 2 kind of bell cowish backs, right? And then you have a guy like Austin Eckler, who can be that pass catching back. I guess Jerry McNichols can play in that role as well. But I feel like this backfield is more dangerous when Brian Robinson's the running back 1. You got Bill now. And then you're going to have a guy by the name of Austin Eckler. But then Chris Rodriguez or Jerry McNichols, right? Like that's 5 names right there. You know what I'm saying? That's 5 names right there. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to go, man, unfortunately, right? Because, look, again, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, Bill, Chris Rodriguez, and Jerry McNichols. Now, I know on paper, or me just saying it out loud, it's probably like one, we know who's the clear obvious out is. That's Chris Rodriguez. And for me, I felt like it should be Jerry McNichols. Not because I dislike him or anything like that, but I feel like, again, he's not a guy that you can bring back and keep on the practice squad because he's too valuable to an offense. With Chris Rodriguez, he can give you the same kind of production, but you can hide him on the practice squad. You can call him up if injuries tend to happen, or if you just need him to come up on special teams or something like that. Can't be the same said for Jerry McNichols, you know? So, in my opinion, I think we have a good problem. I definitely do, because we have 5 backs to choose from. And yes, I'm saying Jerry McNichols could get cut, but same could be said for Chris Rodriguez. Bill was a 7th round pick. He does not have to make this roster. It's not a guarantee. I know a lot of fans, including myself, are excited about Bill, but he does not have to make this roster. Let's get that clear. If I had to say the only locks right now, it would be Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. And I know some of you all are going to throw Jerry McNichols in that mix and go right ahead. If he's a third lock for you, that's totally fine, because again, he's had solid production. But I'm just looking at Chris Rodriguez like, man, if he gets more opportunities, he definitely could show what he's capable of, because we've seen it on a small scale year in and year out. Like every year, we've always seen him get touches towards the end of the season. If he gets more touches often and early, I think he has better vision than Brian Robinson. Is that too far to say? Like, obviously, Brian Robinson is probably the more skilled back in terms of size, physicality, etc. But when it comes to that, finding that cutback lane and just being a downhill runner, I think he has better vision than B-Rob. And given the better opportunity, he probably would take a full advantage of it. And I think a feared backfield of Austin Eckler, B-Rob, and Bill, and potentially Chris Rodriguez, that would be dangerous. But now thinking about it live on air, you might have to keep 4, because it's 5 guys to choose from. You probably ain't going to cut 2 of them. I mean, like, that's probably not going to be the case, but I just got to get used to having 4 backs. You know, I was used to Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson and J.D. McKissick, like those times. Or it was back in the day, right? It was Chris Thompson, it was Fat Rob, which is Robert Kelly or Matt Jones. Like, I remember those kind of days. And obviously it was Alfred Morris for most of my childhood back in 2012, right? Like that was all I remember, right? But now having a backfield that could potentially have 4 running backs, or we could say 5 or 6, because Jaden Daniels, right? And then Debo Samuel. Like, oh my God, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you don't have to keep 4 backs. You might do because you don't want to release Bill unless he's just horrible, but you got Debo, who can also chip in as a running back. You can have Jalen Lane, who could also do the same thing, and obviously Jaden Daniels. So it's so much. Man, this running game is going to be nasty this season, man. I just thought about that live one. That's why I love doing videos like this, because I don't script my videos. Like, I just talk from my knowledge, right? More times than not. Now, sometimes I'll write down some things if I have to, but just thinking about it live on air like this, bro, this running back, like just running game period, whether it's the backs or it's the quarterback or it's the receivers like Debo and Jalen Lane, this running back room or running game is going to be nasty this upcoming season. But yeah, that's why I say we have a problem. Now, trying to figure out whether it's a good problem or a bad problem, that's totally up to you. Like, what do you think? Me personally, I think it's a good problem because you got 5 backs you can choose from. 4 of them probably is going to make the roster after thinking about it. I personally am a person that keeps 3 backs on the team, and I would go B-Rob, Eck, Bill, Chris Rodriguez to the practice squad. I probably would release Jeremy McNichols, not because he's not good. He's good, but you can't sneak him onto the practice squad, right? He's too valuable to a team, and he's going to easily get picked up. And had we not had Chris Rodriguez or had we not drafted Bill, Jeremy McNichols would have been a lock on this team, and that's why I think they went out and signed him just in case, because they didn't know what they were going to do this offseason. They didn't know how they were going to address the running back one. They didn't know if they were going to go free agency. They didn't know if they were going to go to the draft and like a couple different guys, so they brought him back just in case. That's how I look at it. But they definitely could have brought him back, and he definitely can still be a guy that contribute to this roster. But let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. Good problem to have, bad problem to have. 5 backs to choose from. You can say 7 if you want to include Jeremy Lane and Deebo Samuel, or 8 if you want to include Jaden Daniels' legs as well. This run game is going to be nasty this upcoming season. That's all I know. I don't know who the mix is going to be. We'll see when training camp gets here. But I just know it's going to be nasty regardless of who it is. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Want to roll to 10,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it. If you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible, we're like 300 away. So it'd be great if y'all help me get there as soon as possible, man. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.
Ballin' like I'm D-Sean, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.